Hello, everybody. I thought we would get together and create our very own e-portfolio. The ones I gave you were adequate, but here's the problem. They're not yours. They're what I might add, but they're not yours. They're not your style, and they don't contain what you think they should. So I thought what we would do is to design our very own template, and then that way, in the future, after you leave me an Excel, then you can continue adding to your ePortfolio as you progress through the course. Especially when you get into accounting, this probably is going to be very useful for you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to start off with a new blank workbook. And for me, I'm already sitting in Excel, so I'm just going to press the Control plus the letter N. All right, try that again. There we go. And that created a new blank workbook. And I'm going to give this new blank workbook name. I'm going to call it something along the line of file, save as. I'm just going to call it EP1. I'm just going to put my initials on the end just because I've already done this a couple. I throw up. Yes, it did. It said you've already got a file called that. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. Okay. Every time we make a change, an improvement, or we want to add to it, what we can do is always rename it EP1, EP2, EP3, EP4. I'm going to throw a couple of things in there just to start making the workbook look good. Number one, of course, is going to be some kind of cover sheet or an introduction. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare the introduction sheet. We're not going to put anything on it, but we're going to give the sheet tab a name. We're going to give the sheet tab a color. So it's pretty easy. We'll have a lot of fun with the cover. Okay. Or the introduction. Step number one, we're going to go down to the sheet tab 1. You're going to double click on it. Then you're going to type in introduction. That's it. Once you've typed in the name of the sheet, you press the enter key. And then the only other thing you want to do to the sheet tab probably is to give it a bit of color. Right mouse click, tab color, pick a tab color, pick a color, any color. And I'm just going to grab any one of the colors at the top. And I'm going to go from the right. So it's going to be green accent 6, lighter 80%. And there it is. So there's absolutely nothing else I need to do to this sheet at this time. I'm going to come back and edit it, modify it, make it look beautiful, add some more information. But for now, it's just going to be a placeholder. The next thing, of course, we're going to need is a table of contents. And what that table of contents is going to include is a link for every single page that we create. So, instead of a table of contents, let's not call it that. Let's call it our navigation page because it allows us to navigate to different parts of the workbook using hyperlinks. So the next thing we're going to add, navigation page. Step number 1, create a new blank worksheet. Click on the plus to the right of the word, the sheet tab introduction. And then we have sheet 2. So immediately, let's give sheet 2 the name. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to call it navigation. Again, you can pick any name you like. This works for me. The hardest thing for me or for you is going to be, what do I include? How do I put it together? And what is important? And does it make sense? And can I get something out of it in the future? So yeah, there are always questions we're going to be asking. So the navigation sheet, right mouse click, tab color, second sheet tab over, sorry, the second column over, and there's your color. Again, we're going to leave that alone for now. Very, very shortly, we're going to come back to it when we've created 1 or 2 of our sheets. Okay, so we've got the introduction, we've got the navigation. There's a bunch of other sheets we could do, but for now, what we're going to do is we're going to create our very first real live actual page. And it's going to be for the Excel tables. The reason it's going to be we're doing that is because you, the evening class, are going to be working on tables tonight. So why not? Okay. So we need to create one sheet for now, a new sheet tab, and we're going to call it simply tables. You can don't give it numbers or anything like that because you might want to move things around. It's very flexible, very movable. So just call it tables or table. Click on the plus to add a new sheet. Give the new sheet a name. Double click on it and tables. Okay. Tables. I don't know which is the best way to put it. I've called it tables. Okay. Apply the color if and or when you want. Right mouse color, table color, and it's going to be the third color over. Do you need to be that coordinated? Absolutely not. Now, one thing we want to have at the top of every single page that we possibly can is some kind of title. Okay. I really like to use the merge and center, and I'll show you how I like to make it look something like this. So we are going to select from A1, let's say all the way over to M1. Okay. Once you have selected the range A1 to M1, then what you'll want to do is to go and merge it. Not merge and center, but merge it. Okay. But again, this is all about your creativity. It's not about mine. So I'm going to go Home tab. Then I'm going to go to Alignment. Instead of Merge and Center, if I click on the little arrow, I move down to the third option, Merge Cells. Instead of the text being in the center, it's going to be over here on the left-hand side. So, and we are going to call this Sheet Tables. Okay. The table or tables. A couple of things we want to do. Number one, we want to make the font a little bit larger, obviously. Number two, if you want to apply any styles to the cells, you can do. I like to do something very plain and unassuming. What I like to do is tab. I'm going to go to the cell styles, and yeah, I'm actually going to select heading 1. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Heading 1. We can increase the font size if you want to. We can apply formatting if you felt so inclined. I can't see any reason to do this, but if you want to add a border, if you want to add a fill, anything you think you might want, you can do that. Not sure I necessarily like that, but hey. Then we've got a heading. You can, and what you want to do is you'll want to apply this heading to every single new sheet that we apply. One of the things you're going to learn about very shortly is called the Format Painter. And the Format Painter does exactly what it says it's going to do. It takes and makes a copy of the formatting in a cell or range that you select, and then it goes and applies the formatting to the new location. Okay. I believe you can do it from sheet to sheet. So in fact, we're going to find out now if it is. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to want to do, we're also going to be doing time tonight as well as a couple of other things. So let's call the next sheet no, we're not going to call it just because. We're going to add a new sheet. Okay. And let's double click and let's call that sheet date and time. Some of these pages in your portfolio will have next to nothing on them. Some of these pages on your portfolio may have 3 or 4 or 5 pages worth. I don't know. It's up to you. What is it you think that's important? Okay. So we've got date and time, we've got table. We're going to be inserting something in here anyways. But right mouse click, tab color, and let's use this guy. Okay. So and we've got date and time. So this part, I'm not 100% sure. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to make the font size possibly a little bit bigger. And if there's any other formatting you think that you wanted to do, now's the time. All right. Metallic. You can change the font size if you like. Maybe not quite that much. That's not terrible, but it's a bit light. Oh, definitely. I hate Aptos with a passion. I shouldn't have done this. I'm going to pay the price now. Definitely. Here we go. This is kind of cute. Seriously, would I keep this? Probably not, but it's kind of cute. So, baguette, script. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So what I'd like to do is take a copy of this formatting, and I'd like to, using the format painter, I would like to take that and apply it to here. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Select the cell, format painter, go to the new sheet, and click on A1. Wow, it worked really nicely. Now, the reason it doesn't have any text in there is because we haven't typed in anything to begin with. So if I do date time, there it is. So if I added another sheet, okay, let's call this the if function. All right. Now, I don't think the is necessary. So you can add as many sheets as you want. Not a big deal. So I'm going to take the date and time format. I'm going to click once on the then I'm going to go over to the if function, and I am going to click on A1 if function. Yeah, that's a bit goofy. Okay, and let's give this a color and tap color. Don't mind gray. Gray's fine by me. Now, as you can see, even though we've not really added any content, it's beginning to come together. All right. Now, let's start adding a little bit of content, and we are going to populate, if you want to call it that, we're going to populate the tables sheet. All right. Right now, nothing on here. One question I'm going to ask you is, would you like to see the sheets with the grid or without the grid? Okay. With the grid, looks like this. You show grid lines, looks like this. Okay. I'm going to keep doing it without the grid, but if you like it, you can certainly switch it on. I just think it looks crisper and cleaner, and it gives you a better use of your space. So what we're going to do, populate or fill here, is a whole ton of information that we think is useful, or we want to remember, or tips that we have, or steps to do something, anything that we think is probably useful for us for the future. We're going to insert the information here, but where the magic happens is this is good stuff. But the really good stuff comes when we actually have the real actual examples or samples. We can actually look at what we're talking about. So we have the theory page, and we're going to have a practical page. But for now, we're just going to put a couple of things together in the theory page. I believe I have, I'm just going to close this off. Right.